Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Stax. I'm your host, Bill-Staxx, and today I got my good friend, Ori Spado. What's up, Ori?
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I read your book, and it's amazing.
Well, great. And I'm anxious to see what questions from the book that you said you were going to write down and you wanted to talk to me about.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot, man. So,
Well,
when you were growing up in Rome, did you get into like mischief there? Were you getting in trouble?
all the time.
Were
A lot
you
of fights. A
yeah?
lot of fights. I used to break into houses. I used to go through the cellar window. We were to crawl through them, go
How
upstairs.
old? How old were you then?
11, 12 years old. I've been smoking since I was 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a bad boy and I got caught a lot. And my father made me paint the porch. We had a big ass porch. And I can't tell you how many times I painted it. Paint
Oh,
the porch or spade the garden.
so every time you get in trouble, he's like, the punishment was to paint the porch.
Right.
Oh man, I'm sure it had a fresh coat every day, Ori. Right?
Yep.
So when you moved and when you entered the military, um, were you getting into trouble in there, or do you have any stories you could tell me about when you were in the military?
When I got to Fort Gordon, Georgia, I was on the second floor, and there was a kid, I still remember his name, a black boy from Washington. Drayton was his name. And we were in fights every day. I was the guy that was always defending the other guys. And there was no prejudice. It was just the way it was. If I saw a gang of people on another guy, I intervened. Uh, but there was one kid I'll never forget. He was an acting sergeant from Panama. His name was Shaw. It's amazing. I remember these names since 1963.
Wow.
Okay. And when I say my memory, I got my memory. But I remember I got up in the middle of the night to go take a leak, and I had to go downstairs to where the latrine was and then the big shower room. And he's in the shower. He's taking a shower. I'm taking a leak. He goes, "Hey, Private, what are you doing? You're supposed to be in bed." No, he didn't say private. He said, "Hey, motherfucker." Now, nobody ever called me a motherfucker before.
No?
No, I took that very personal.
Yeah.
I got through taking my piss, walked to the shower. You had to walk down a couple steps to get into the shower. I walked over to him. I grabbed him by the fucking throat and I pounded his head against the fucking pipes. And I left him laying there. I said, "Now go report me, motherfucker, and see what I do to you next." He never reported me.
So was there a lot of scrapes like that when you were in the military?
Yeah. Me and that Drayton, we'd fight right there in the barracks. It was kind of funny, and I remember our Captain Gordon, and he come up and said, "Everybody's got to get the attention." And he goes, he look over, "Spado, you fighting with Drayton?" No, sir. "Drayton, are you fighting with Spado?" "No, sir."
Did you guys have marks?
Yeah, we'd have marks on our face every day. "No, sir." He just shake his head. He knew. But I want to tell you about my bottom bunkie. It's in my book. I don't know if you got to it. You should have. Remember, I was in Fort Gordon, Georgia, right outside of Augusta, Georgia. And what's going on in the news today? All right, you figure 1963. All you folks remember that 1963. This is 2021. Nothing has changed in Georgia.
Really?
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Wow.
My monkey was a black boy, nicest kid that you ever wanted to meet. He was a good kid, really nice kid. In the 7th week of basic training, a commanding officer gave us a 4-hour pass. Now, everybody else was getting weekend passes, but we were in airborne. We got a 4-hour pass to go in town, get a dinner, and do something, all right?
So why was it only 4 hours and everyone else would get the weekend? Were you like on point?
When I say everybody, other units were getting the weekend. We got 4 hours. That's
Because
all.
you had to be ready.
We were in airborne. You had to be ready, and so forth. But so 4 of us went in, and we looked around. I see a restaurant. Walked to the door, and I said, "There's 4 of us." Now we're all in the same uniform.
Yeah.
Except one boy is black. No difference. He's a soldier, just like we are.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy says, "Sorry, sir, but he cannot come in this door." I said, "What are you talking about? He cannot come in this door." He says, "Sir, no blacks are allowed here. He's got to go in the other door." I said, "No."
Separate places for them.
They had, the same restaurant had 2 doors, white, black. And it was divided by ropes. Now I'm arguing with the guy. I'm ready to get into a fight here.
Yeah.
And the black boy stops me. He says, "Ori, don't." He says, "This is the way it is," he says. I said, "Well, it's not the way it should be." And so he was able to go in, and the booth that we picked was divided with the ropes right down the middle.
Are you
So
serious?
Yeah, he was actually sitting in the same booth, but on the other side of the ropes. And that's how it was. That was 1963. With what they're doing down there now, we live in a country that everybody should be entitled to vote.
Yeah.
But no, they want to change it. They only want certain people to vote.
Yeah.
And they definitely don't want the blacks to vote because they feel they're going to be with the Democrats.
Yeah. So did you experience a lot of racism when you were up in Rome?
No.
No, people weren't like that up north, right?
I don't remember racism in New York City.
Yeah.
We grew up, that's the way it was. I mean, one of my friends in high school was another guy, real good gangster, Milton Searcy, sharp boy. We were friends.
Mhm.
I mean, there was no racial thing, and we never thought of anything racial.
Yeah.
But I did not experience it or realize it till I got down to the South. Right,
So was there? I know this might be before your time, Ori, and forgive me if it is, but did you ever go to the Cotton Club?
No.
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 Did you go to was there different clubs
I
when
used
you
to go in, I used to go in Ireland. I used to go in Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been all those places.
Have you met a lot of have you met any minority gangsters, meaning like African American?
Yeah, I've met a lot of them.
Is there any that you can name?
Jimmy Henchman was a good friend of mine. All right. Jimmy Roseman, he's doing life in prison.
Mhm.
Suge Knight. All
Yeah,
the
we
big
took.
guys. All the big guys.
What about? I know he's not African American, but what about Oni Madden? Have you ever met him?
Who?
Oni Madden.
No, I know Mike Concepcion, one of the founders of the Crips, is a friend of mine.
Wow, I think I heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oni Madden was the part owner of the Cotton Club.
No, no.
He lived till he about 1960 something, 1970 something.
Yeah, no. But
So yeah. No, go ahead.
yeah. So I mean, I never been prejudiced against anybody else. I accept everybody for who they are, what they are, and that's it. That's what
So
everybody should be doing.
I know, but
We don't live in that kind of country.
no, and they don't. I don't understand it, but I mean,
And Georgia and Mississippi and Missouri, oh,
so did you see? Have you seen other forms of them being like racist towards black people down when you were in the military? Is there other situations that you can name off when you were in the military?
no, basically it was just in the South. Our I didn't see anything, there'd be prejudice with, um, like I said, primarily in the South, and the boys from Mississippi is still fighting the Civil War. Uh,
Was there people from that unit that were in the military? Were they racist towards the black guy?
oh yeah, I just told you.
Yeah,
Guys,
I know. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I told you.
So he had to deal with it from everywhere, his own people and the people he's going out in
Look,
the
you
streets.
gotta understand something, and I used to see in Beverly Hills. We don't see it no more. But if a black guy was driving through Beverly Hills, he'd be stopped by the police.
When did that
Doing nothing
stop?
wrong. Doing nothing wrong, he's going to be stopped by the police because he's black. It's not
Yeah.
just Beverly Hills. It happens all over the country.
It's
Not
racial profiling.
it's not getting better. It's actually getting worse.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad stuff happening in this country right now.
Yeah.
And
But I wanted to tell you, and the guy that was with us in the rush, his name was Armstrong. Nice kid.
mhm.
I wonder where these people are today.
Have you met a lot? Was there other people that were into that kind of life in the military with you?
What do you mean, into that life?
That kind of life, like living on the edge and living dangerously, the way that you live.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is there people in there that you teamed up with?
No, I've been a loner basically all my life. I mean, I had my friends.
Mhm.
I was a guy that people came to with problems in the military because I was a fighter. I helped people.
Yeah, and then when you used to do the cards, you used to furnish people's apartments, and they would come to you and ask you for uh, a certain luxury apartment, and then you would furnish them. I read that in your book. So
Well,
was it
we owned apartment buildings, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
That was your job in the military, to give people apartments and
oh, no,
furnish them.
housing when I was
Yeah,
in headquarters, yes.
yes. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I teamed up with the supply sergeant. I could still see him, big fat guy. But he had a good operation. So when the first lieutenants would report, they had to come report to our office. And I was the guy that would set them up with their housing. They're married, how many children, I give them a 2-bedroom home, a 3-bedroom home. And there were different homes on different sides.
Yeah.
Some were better than the others. You
So
know, and then there was furniture that was better than other furniture. Okay. So I would talk to them, well, this is what you get. And, you know, I could see them with the face on, you know, the look on their face. But, you know, I said, I could arrange something for you to get into a better house on the other side.
a little
And
extra.
I can get you better, you know. And look, I'm just going to introduce you to the guy. You know, I don't get nothing here. But the guy that's in charge. So I would make the introduction to that young lieutenant that just got out of college, and you know, and I would introduce him, and then I always got a kickback, of course.
Yeah, they would grease your pocket.
Yeah.
So how long did that go on for?
Well, a little over a year.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
Was there people that you didn't like and you put them in the shitty apartments?
No, I didn't do that.
No.
And if I didn't like them, they just got the regular shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was jealousy back then, like, oh, Spado got the best job here and he's giving away all this stuff to all his friends, you know? You know how people are.
Nobody knew what I was doing.
No.
No. Like I said, I was right there. I was with the, you know, Sergeant Major. The Sergeant Major was my friend. His name was Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
Major Standeven and Colonel James K. Taylor. And they were ahead of the 13th Headquarters Artillery. And that was right in that office.
And this was before you went to Hawaii.
No, this is in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, okay.
Yeah.
So see, because I get a little confused, and I have to, like, at least I can ask you exactly what certain things mean that I don't understand. You know what I mean? So when you're in Hawaii, that's right after Pearl Harbor, correct?
20-something years later.
Yeah, but I'm sure it still had an effect on Hawaii when you were there.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, Schofield Barracks is where Coley Pass is. Okay? We used to run there. It was 12 miles. Run up and run back, okay? Yep. Coley Pass. That's where the planes flew in, the Japanese. And they were able to fly in under the radar, okay, when they went in to bomb Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
And that they flew in over Schofield Barracks.
So is it like a mountain range and like a
mountain range with a pass?
Yeah.
You know, and they were able to fly in.
Yeah, just come in and then they.
Yeah.
So were you were still feeling the reverberations of
not really.
Pearl Harbor? No.
No. We were thinking Vietnam.
But were they on point though for a sneak attack? Because of Pearl Harbor.
It's not going to happen again. We got better equipment, better radar, and then better everything. So that's not going to happen today. But,
no, I mean back then when you were stationed in Hawaii, were they ready for another sneak attack?
You know, we never thought of it. It was never mentioned to us, but I'm sure they were ready.
Sure, they
said.
Yeah, because they obviously weren't ready for the first one when they attacked.
Right. You know, I'd like to do a reading from my book.
Okay.
For all your fans out there.
Yeah, make sure you go check out Ori's book, The Accidental Gangster. It's a great book.
And they can go to my website. When I say, folks, that this is a limited edition hardcover book, I sincerely mean that. We are running out quickly. My sales are exceptionally good.
Yeah.
All right. How do you mark time? Some people count the gray hairs on their heads or the lines in their faces. For others, it is the number of children and grandchildren. To many others, it is the joy of growing old with a special loved one, or the accumulation of material wealth or objects they collect. such as ours. My marker of time is the people I have kept alive, thanks to the grace of God and some behind the scenes moving and shaking by me. They are still above the ground, walking, talking, and breathing. Who am I? My name is Orlando Ori Spado, and they call me the mob boss of Hollywood.
It's a great book, Corey. Great, man.
So that'll give you folks a little bit something about me. And I'm going to read you from the first page of my book, Sentencing Day. Metropolitan Detention Center, Brooklyn, New York, September 7, 2010. The door to my cell was opened early, around 4 a.m. A guard dressed in his neatly pressed uniform stepped inside to wake me. I was already awake, though, and had been for hours, wondering if I made a mistake. Later in the morning, I'd be in a federal courtroom where a judge would pass sentence on me, a term from 97 to 110 months in a federal prison. I agreed to that amount of time in a plea deal, but now I was having second thoughts. If I'd gone to trial, could I have beaten the charge? Could I have walked out of the courtroom a totally free man? As I sat on my bunk, staring at the cell wall, I began to think maybe I could have. Then I said, knock it off, Ori. What's done is done. They charged me under RICO, the federal government's most effective weapon against organized crime. If you fought and lost, which most defendants did, they threw the fucking book at you. That point was driven home to me by my friend and fellow inmate, Anthony Tico, and Tico. Everyone called him Tico. While we were in the courthouse bullpen area that day before I accepted the government's offer. Spado, take the plea and you'll see daylight. You've already been here 30 months. After you get good time credit you got coming, you'll be out quick. If you go to trial, they will shut your lights out. And I thank my friend Tico. He's out of prison now. He's back there in New York somewhere.
How long was his sentence?
He went to trial and he lost.
So he gave you some really good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think if you went to trial, you would have really lost?
I think that I had a good chance. If my trial, as I tried, I wrote my own motions. If it would have gotten transferred to Los Angeles, where a jury of my peers is out here, if my jury, my peer is not in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah. It's where you live, where you always operate. Yeah.
And the two predicate acts they had me for both happened here in Los Angeles.
That's
so I knew all the lawyers out here, all the top shelf lawyers are all personal friends of mine. I could have had a dream team going to trial here.
Yeah.
Back in New York, I didn't know any lawyers.
Would they not let you hire people from LA and bring them to New York?
No, that would have been so costly. It would have been unbelievable. And
I'm sure it cost you a lot of money anyway.
It cost me money, but I had several court-appointed lawyers. They were good.
Yeah.
But you know what? What people don't realize, and they take their lawyer's orders, I don't. I read between the lines, because that lawyer just wants to get your case over, get his money, and go on to the next.
Yeah. He doesn't Doesn't really care about the outcome.
I went through 4 lawyers back there. They nicknamed me the renegade client. The renegade client.
Were you the kind of guy that would fire the lawyer right on the spot? I'm done. Get out of here.
I did that right in the courtroom.
I've done it too.
Right in front of the judge.
Me too.
All right, where the lawyer tried to get me to take the plea deal. And, you know, from day one until I got sentenced, they never, ever changed or lowered the plea offer they offered me. With other people, they did. With me, they didn't.
The first offer is usually high, and then they knock it down. Yours stayed.
No, never did with me.
That's crazy.
Never
That's wild.
did with me.
So they didn't even give you a chance, or they wanted to nail your ass to the wall right off the beginning.
Right. So, it is what it is. I did my time. I'm out. I'm doing good. I'm helping a lot of young people out. And it's very rewarding what I'm doing. I don't charge these people anything like other people who do charge them to help them. I don't.
So if there's anybody out there that needs help from you, Ori, how can they get in touch with you?
They can write me at the accidentalgangster@gmail. Or they could go to my Instagram account, follow me on Instagram, and they could DM me there. It's the Accidental Gangster.
I'll put a link. I'll put a link below for everyone out there.
And I'd like everybody to please go to my website and subscribe. All right, there's quite a bit on there, and I'll be doing newsletters that I'll be sending out to you, that I'll be posting. So keep you folks up to date. And I have a YouTube channel, The Accidental Gangster. You can go there and see several videos that I do of keeping positive, how to communicate with people, how to hustle, and all the right things that you should be doing in life to become successful.
I'm going to bring up a picture of your book right here so I could show people. And I'm definitely going to have you back on, Ori. We're going to talk more about your book. I just want to do it in parts because just like your book has chapters, I want to do this in separate parts. So once I get to a certain point in the book, here's Ori's book right here.
That's not the book cover.
Oh, you got 2 books, Ori?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I didn't know that.
This is the book cover. This is the book that you have.
Yeah, I have the book.
Where'd you get that picture from? That's the old book.
I got that off the internet.
This is the book.
Okay, I got it right here. I got it right here, Ori. So the first book, what's the first book about, Ori?
The first book's a lot of the same stuff, but this book has letters at the end of the book. There's a letter to Sonny Franchise. There's a letter to Michael Franchise. Some of my friends who have passed away, and my children, my ex-wife, and so forth. People who read the book, read those letters, they have DM'd me and told me it made them cry.
Yeah.
So, folks, it's like I posted, somebody wrote, you know, my book is not written by an informant like a lot of your books out there today are. My book is the truth. I don't bash anybody except maybe a couple of informants. But otherwise, you know, I don't bash my friends, people that were my friends. It's just that I'm not associating with them no more. Okay? Yeah. But, you know, and that's it. I spending the rest of my years trying to help people.
Yeah.
And the more I help, the better. And on that note, my friend Bill-Staxx, all right, until the next time.
Definitely. Thank you, Ori.
Okay.
Thank you for being on with me, Ori. And till next time, folks.
Bye-bye.